Today we're holding the survival camp, which is an idea to try to simulate the difficulties that refugees go through in different parts of the world, especially focusing on the crisis in Syria, where for over 4 million people are in the neighboring countries, in Lebanon, in Turkey, in Jordan, and in Iraq. And they go through a lot of difficulties all through the year, but when it comes to winter, they face additional difficulties of the cold, which they are not equipped to deal with. So this camp is just to give people an idea of what those difficulties might be.
And I'm going to be joining some of the others to experience a fraction of what the refugees do during this cold winter as well. So coming out of my comfort, leaving my family for the next 24 hours.
I know we're supposed to live like a refugee for the day and for the evening. So I think unless you get some taste of what it feels like to be desolate, thrown out of your country, we're never really going to appreciate how much assistance they could need.
Like they're our brothers and sisters, like in Islam, and if we experience what they experience, then it will make us want to help them more.
So we've got a lot of different people coming here from all over the south of England to Gilwell Park here in Waltham Abbey. And when they arrive, what we're going to do is we're going to actually send them on a 6-mile walk. And this is to kind of replicate the long journeys that refugee families have to make to even arrive at these the camps that they end up in. And although we can't replicate the emotional trauma and the difficulties that people face of leaving loved ones behind, or people who've lost loved ones because of the war. What we want to do is just to give them a feeling of the physical difficulties. So they'll do this long 6-mile walk with no food or water. Regularly as I go out to the field and I see the projects that we're funding. And I've been to places like Afghanistan, and I've seen the refugee camps there. I was in Syria a few years ago. I've seen the camps there, as well as in Lebanon and Jordan and in Iraq last year. And whenever I come back, I come with this feeling that I have to tell everybody what I've seen and the experiences that I've had, so that they can understand the difficulties people face. But I can never do justice to what it actually feels like to be there. I can show videos and pictures, but to actually be there, to feel when I was in Syria, I remember the ground was so cold that my feet were starting to freeze. And I had to find like a stone or something to stand on because the muddy ground was so cold that my legs were starting to freeze up. And I can't explain that to people. I can tell people, but I can't explain what it feels like. So I felt like whenever we ask for people to donate, we always ask them and we tell them this is why they need to give. So this was something to completely change it around. Refugee crisis is a huge crisis. Probably right now it's one of the biggest crises of our time. And we know that they've left their homes and they're short on food and clothing and everything else. But when it comes to winter, they have a whole new series of challenges that they face. We're going to go on quite a long walk, which will replicate some journeys that refugee families take. And then we're going to experience what camp life is going to be like.
not much to say other than we're going to be walking. But to give you a heads up, it's very muddy underfoot, very wet as well. So if you haven't got the best of footwear, bear in mind that there isn't a pull-out option here. You're going to just have to take that route because refugees don't get the option of pulling out either.
We've walked so far, not even half a mile, and I'm already quite tired, and I know a lot of the guys that are trekking with us are feeling this strain, especially with the muddy situation, quite cold as well. And we are doing 6 miles in total today. So now we've got another 5.5 miles to go, so I'm going to go and join the crew and see how far. And with all these treks, there will be many more challenges, many more wet patches, many more obstacles that we have to come across, and then we'll reach our camp. Once we reach our camp, we'll hope to find something to eat because I'm really hungry as well.
It's strange, I feel mixed emotions because a part of me knows that I'm going to go back home, and then a part of me really feels vulnerable. I guess I feel vulnerable because sometimes we become ignorant to our surroundings and we feel very comfortable in them, and that's human nature, we have our comforts. But I feel vulnerable because you sort of realise how easy you have it and you take that for advantage. So after this experience, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to take this powerful message back